Hey everybody, it's Party Elite. Welcome you back to another episode of our Planet Zoo franchise mode Let's Play. We're going to dive right back into Elite Zoo South to get to work on something that many of you have been asking for a very long time. I say a very long time, I mean more or less the last, I suppose, 3 or 4, maybe 5 sessions. I forget how long it's been, but it feels like a very long time. It feels like I keep pushing it off, and I was actually not going to touch on this in today's session, as you might remember, but ultimately, you know, the mood of the day, so to speak, has shifted a little bit. Not for the better or worse, but just, you know, like a side shift. And I think the thumbnail or title have given it away already, what we're going to be working on today. But yes, we're going to dive in and revamp our lion enclosure. As many of you have pointed out, it's been sort of quote-unquote feeling neglected, I suppose, for the last little bit, just kind of sitting there. With definitely the surrounding area incomplete and some modifications we want to make to, you know, Pride Rock itself as well to make it a bit more fitting and a bit more accurate, I suppose. So I've pulled together all my kind of research and references and stuff like that. We will try to recreate it as best as possible. Obviously, there are some limitations with regards to the pieces actually available and the space available to us as well, of course. Now, one could argue we have all this space available to us, but the reality is, you know, the enclosure size and the viewing angles and stuff need to be considered as well. But I've got some fun ideas to take Pride Rock and add a couple of modifications. We will still want to have, for example, you know, easily accessible natural water and things like that. There's all those little details that I really want to modify to make it work for our technical requirements as well. But folks, yeah, I know initially, and I'm sure some of you were looking forward to this, and I do apologize, but initially the plan was to work on the entrance a bit more today, but like I said, a little slight shift in plans. We were going to do this next session instead. We're going to do it today, and well, I tell you what my plans are for the next session right now, but if they change again, then, you know, what's the point, I suppose. But I hope y'all don't mind this slight shift in plans. I actually want to dive into the time-lapse right away. I'm like feeling the... I'm feeling it right now, so we're going to go ahead and use the old blueprint trick. By the way, just a heads up for those of you wondering, in sandbox mode, you can click on the time of day down over here and flip the time of day to whatever you want it to be. But in franchise mode, you're not able to do that, which is a little unfortunate. Like, I understand it, I suppose, because there are power costs associated with being open at night. But there are so many ways around that in-game itself. Just really quickly over here, I could totally just go in and change opening hours, and it would teleport us to the next day morning the moment I hit play. Yeah, that's an option. This blueprint thing is an option as well. So it feels a little... it feels like it's neither here nor there, which is part of the reason why, even though at first I used to have an issue with doing this, I have quickly kind of gotten over that issue. And let's go ahead and, you know, avert your eyes as we set the time to noon. That should be the best time. Wow, that was bright. That should be the best time because, again, the light's coming from more or less straight up on high. It gives us a nice clear view, and we can dive in and get to work right away. Again, like I said, just kind of feeling it. I want to dive right in. I don't want to wait until the sun rises, quote-unquote, naturally or anything like that. We will have to move our little lions over here, get them out from underneath this space because, well, it's all about to change. So, they'll get boxed up and move later, eventually. It's okay, folks. No more time to waste. No more time to ramble. It's time-lapse time. All right, folks. I am very happy that I decided to dive in today with Pride Rock, which is what we're calling it until, you know, the official name gets put down, which will also happen today. But I guess the megalithic structure in the center will always be Pride Rock, kind of like Eagle Eye back at Elite Zoo North, where it was a structure within an enclosure, had its own kind of name. This one doesn't need its name put down in letters, though I suppose I think it's pretty recognizable even in this alternate universe of Planet Zoo. I'm sure it's a familiar, iconic structure. But nonetheless, my rambling aside, very happy with how this time-lapse goes. It did have a couple of struggle points, but overall, the end result, I'm very happy with. The first order of business was to sort of put down the skeleton, if you will, of our new and improved Pride Rock structure. As you can maybe already tell, it is going to be a fair sight larger than the original one. We wanted to do an interior cave. I didn't want it to be too big because I still don't want the lions to hide there. because I mean it is high up off the ground, and unless we have a second walking space around the enclosure, people aren't going to be able to get a good view if lions are spending too much time up there. So I wanted to give enough space that they are able to rest up there if they want to. Maybe the cubs can go up there and just kind of chill or run around in that space. But I didn't want it to be so big that they opt to spend their time there rather than on the ground where guests can actually see them. A bit of a balancing act, I suppose. But yeah, so that was the first step, was to just kind of get the structure set up so I could gauge the overall scope and scale of things, and then it was all about really filling out the spaces, putting down some of the bedding and stuff as well, pulling pieces from the old Pride Rock as we went along, because I just felt like, sure, money's not an issue, but why be wasteful, I guess. There are pieces that are sitting there, not going to do anything else with them. But yeah, so again, actually just still building out the silhouette a little bit. It was a bit more of a challenge, and I think you'll see me struggling with a couple of aspects here and there. It was a bit more of a challenge building a larger version of the enclosure, or of the of Pride Rock rather, because it's not like the pieces, it's not like the rocks are any bigger. I just have to use more of them, and I have to try and make them look like they're not tiling, and I'm obviously working with their shapes, their existing shapes that are affecting the silhouette. So it was a bit more of a struggle. You'll see every so often I kind of do a full 360 turnaround like I just did, and nudge some rocks around or bring in some new types of rocks. Again, as I've said it countless times before, I'm a huge advocate for allowing us to scale at least some pieces so that we can finesse and fine-tune things a bit. And this is one of those cases where I would have loved to be able to just scale up some of the rocks rather than have to put down 20 to make a space like this. But I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Still happy with how it all comes together. Here you can see I'm kind of sealing off the inside of the cave, putting down some bedding as well to try and encourage the animals to chill there if they want to. And now just building up this back area. You'll notice previously I did adjust the terrain a little bit. I made it a bit more, well, it has more of a shape to it rather than just being a flat space. I mean, the lions are expecting relatively plain surface, I think, but a little bit of undulation isn't going to hurt them. And it does give a bit more of an interesting shape to the terrain. There's really no better way to put it. And we actually eventually later on blend the terrain into the structure itself as well to get that kind of blended rock texture and whatnot going on. Here again, you can see, like, because it's so much bigger, you can see how clunky and chunky it kind of looks. So it's like I'm duplicating rocks, I'm rotating them, trying to smooth the shape out a bit so it doesn't feel like a bunch of rocks glued together. It was, yeah, you can see now finally getting the rotations right allows me to cover up some of the seams. It was a bit of a challenge, but, as we do with most challenges, if not all of them on this series, we managed to overcome it. Now, I was actually taking a look at a couple of different references from a few of the different, like, cartoons. I did also take a look at the movie Pride Rock, the full motion, the CG, but modern day graphics CG movie. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to phrase it, because they're not real animals. Anyway, I took a look at that as well because I felt like its shapes might be a better representation of what Pride Rock would look like had it been a real structure, rather than trying to build a cartoony looking structure, right? So I use that for reference as well because for all its faults, at least it has that. Some tremendous artists worked on that film and recreated Pride Rock in a more realistic or natural looking way. So can't take anything away from that, obviously. My issue with those remake movies is a different thing. We can discuss it some other time. Anytime Disney comes up, it always boils to the top, doesn't it? But that aside, putting down some more trees. Now, unfortunately, later on, as I find out, there are way too many trees being put down over the course of this time lapse. So I do end up needing to adjust it a little bit. And it's not the end of the world. It still looks fine after all the adjustment is done. But if you're looking at it and wondering, Party, you're putting down way too many trees for an animal that expects to be in the grasslands, yes, I am. And I do fix that afterwards when I check up on the animals. A couple more rocks here and there. I think just making a few adjustments to the shape. The silhouette was just bothering me. I mean, I kept second guessing every aspect of this thing, just because it's just like when you zoom in too close, and it looks maybe messy, and then you zoom out, you look at the bigger picture, you're like, oh, in the grand scheme of things, it needs to look a little messy for the bigger thing to look right. But then other times, like, well, this is looking too messy. And it's just constant back and forth, trying to get the trees in there to break up the silhouette and stuff as well. But again, like I mentioned, too many trees. We do have to adjust that afterwards. Smoothing out some of the shapes on the sides over here as well. Wow, I forgot how much, like, minutia there was involved in the process over here. It's funny to think back on. That's what happens when the time lapse is, like, right at the beginning of an episode. I find when I'm recording my time-lapse audio, which is after the rest of the episode is recorded, I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot how long this actually took me. But finishing off the top over here now, again, there's that bit of a flat shape section at the top, which I want to maintain because I feel like it's oft forgotten, even though it is very, it's very distinct at that top part. And I don't know, I'm not going to say I nailed it perfectly. I think I came as close as one can with the rock pieces that are available. I mean, I'm sure there are better examples of it out there, but it's the best that I was able to accomplish today over here. But pretty happy with how it looks, how it feels, how it's come together. It is a giant, let's be real, it's a giant waste of space. It's not like the animals are able to use any of that real estate, but at least it gives them a fun space to climb up on and run around on, and they do a fair bit of running around, which makes me very happy to see, of course. But yeah, it's funny to think about how the majority of this enclosure space it's well, not the majority, but a big chunk of it is just non-traversable, completely useless for the animal. It's just there for show, but hey. It's part and parcel of an Elite Zoo experience, I suppose. The part of the enclosure is for the animals. A part of the enclosure's experience is for the guests as well, right? That's what we've always kind of stuck to. But yeah, pretty happy with how this is looking. Just distributing some of the trees, again, the plentiful trees to break up the silhouette. You can see me kind of zipping around and being like, how does it look from the different angles? I touched more on my like ideation process there after the time lapse to better explain what I was going for. But I'm satisfied with what they look like right now, but unfortunately, again, we have to edit them. Here, I'm just doing a bit of a size comparison, not just for myself, but also for all of you. Later on, I do a more proper size comparison in real time because I realized in time-lapse it would probably be impossible to tell. But it feels like it's almost twice as large, maybe 1.5 times as large or so. Definitely worth it, though. Definitely worth it. The last piece of business over here, I believe... Yes, I believe this is the last piece of business in the time lapse. I could be mistaken, though. Was to build this fencing. We were kind of joking about it previously, but I think it's... some of us, I think, were joking about it, but some of us were serious about it. I think it's a nice idea to have this kind of fencing set up over here. I do think I will still go in eventually and adjust what the actual barrier looks like, because right now it looks pretty generic. It looks like a cage. I just need to figure out what to do to make it more interesting. I mean, I could just put down wooden logs and things like that, but I didn't have the time or the mental kind of headspace to think up a cool idea, and I want to do these animals justice. The other thing as well is, of course, it can't be anything too attention-seeking, which is part of the reason why I liked the fence in the first place, is because it disappears. You can look past it and you can look upon the enclosure itself. So something to think about there for myself, and maybe if y'all have any ideas as well, feel free to share them as always. Of course, I do have some ideas, but what's stopping me is, like, I want to make sure that A, I do it justice, and B, that it doesn't interrupt the flow of the viewing experience for our guests, looking upon Pride Rock as it is. But with that said, this is going to bring the time-lapse to a close. I hope y'all like the new and improved version of the lion enclosure. I feel like it's significantly better, but as always, I turn to you for your feedback and your thoughts and opinions. I didn't want to overdo things because it already has a, literally monumental piece right in the middle, so I didn't want to add too much around it. But we can always, do a little bit of terraforming, adjust the terrain and things like that, but the animals do like their planes, so I figured I should give them some planes. Anyway, folks, that is it for the time-lapse. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did or didn't, let me know down below. But for now, back regular speed. All right, folks, we are back from the time-lapse, and what a difference a time-lapse could make, eh? I mean, geez, the old Pride Rock in comparison is so like piddly looking. It's so tiny. It's so, look at it. Look at this little thing. And like half of it was buried even. Like it's funny though, camera angles have such power. Like this looks grand and majestic, but in reality it's kind of tiny. Whereas over here, like this is what I'm talking about. That you can't even fit this thing in a full frame. Look at that. That is majesty. That is something worth our pride. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of this. I wanted to keep this up over here just so I could show the size comparison in real time. I tried to show it during the time lapse as well, but then I was like, you know what? Moving at like 6 times speed, who knows how clear it is? But I mean, you can see them side by side over here, like a pretty big difference. Obviously, we did have to rotate it to try and get the sun to hit it just right. Oh yeah, look at that size difference. It's basically like double the size. Maybe 1.5 times the size. Kind of funny to see, actually. Tempting to save it as a blueprint, isn't it? The small one. I do quite like it. I wonder if we'll use it somewhere else as a miniature something or the other. Let's go ahead and tuck it off to the side. How about that? Let's just put it down over here. Don't have to think about it. Don't have to make it a blueprint. Nah, that sticks out like a sore thumb. I don't think I'd be able to. I'll notice that every so often. I won't be able to live with that. Let's go ahead and just make it a blueprint. And just call it Fried Rock Mall. There we go. And I hate that you have to give it a category other, I guess. I help myself. Go ahead and zoom that camera in so we know what we're looking at. Kind of. And the name should give it away, I guess. Sorry, I should have done this during the time lapse, but I didn't even think I was going to save this until right this moment, I guess. There we go, sure. Go ahead and pop that. Done. All right, cool. And be gone. Beautiful. Back to our new Pride Rock. One thing I do want to do, it just occurred to me that I should have done this, and I really hope I can select everything over here without selecting everything down over here. I wish there was like a mode you could turn on that allowed you to only select above terrain versus through terrain. I don't know if this is going to work. I doubt this is going to work, actually. We do this. Oh, man. Live a life of regrets. Head on down over here. Oh, God, deselecting all of this is going to be a nightmare. And there isn't like a... Like, control clicking will change selection as opposed to just remove selection. Ah, come on. Okay, there we go. Need to find the most efficient way to deselect everything down over here. Sometimes it'll involve selecting more things. Come on now. What a hot mess. There we go. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. Good stuff. This roof is selected. No, not anymore. Okay, wonderful. Gotta get rid of this. Gotta get rid of this. Oh, these buildings. Alright, cool. There we go. Oh, hey, you know what? This wasn't all that bad. Nice. Oh, wait. You and you. We good? I think we're good. Wonderful. That worked out quite well, actually. Alright, cool. And let's go ahead and select you and you. Let's make sure none of the TVs are selected. Yeah, looks like we're good. Okay, excellent. Go ahead and group these guys together. And I just ever so slightly want to rotate it all. I just feel like, I know it seems absolutely marginal, but I feel like it brings a little bit of life to the area. Go. This is fine still. I do still like how that looks. Just gotta move the trees a little bit, I suppose. Nudge you out over here. There we go. And I just gotta adjust the terrain over here a little bit. Just ever so slightly. Go. There we go. Try and make sure that the lines are able to get up over here. Hopefully they will be able to. Climb up over here, go up around the ridge over here, up and around over here, and get their prize. Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, I think that does the trick. And from down below. What I wanted to do was I wanted to try and like add a bit of like mystery and grandness to it by putting these trees down as well. So you can rarely ever see all of it in like clear view, only from certain angles. So it does make it feel a bit more megalithic, I would say. It makes it feel a bit more grand and I don't know, it just integrates into the space a lot better rather than just having it isolated in the middle. I feel like it works a lot nicer this way. As we kind of rotate around it, you can see you can never, apart from directly up front, you can never really see it all super clearly. And I think that makes it feel a bit more natural rather than super manicured and you know, designed for a photographic moment or what have you. I do want to move this thing though. Let's go ahead and move you over to here. How about, or actually just a little bit deeper in. Trying to not make it super tree heavy because obviously that doesn't fit the grasslands, you know, thing. But Pride Rock does have a couple of trees behind it and whatnot, so just exaggerating that a little bit for the purposes of our technical needs and stuff. I do believe the animals are happy with the space as well. If we take a quick look at our buddy over here. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Come on, game. Come on. Literally selecting everything except for the animal. This is a game about animals. Let me... Come on. Like, I can't... Okay. You know what? Fine. Somebody else. Not that I can see any of them. They're all kind of underneath the terrain and stuff. We'll check afterwards. I'm pretty sure they're okay with what the terrain looks like right now. So that's good. But yeah, I definitely prefer this at an angle. I prefer it at an angle looking away from the entrance. Like, you come in. Let's see. You come in from here. Well, okay, first of all, if you arrive through the ride over here, the monorail, I think that's a pretty interesting tease, I suppose. You come in from over here. Get the giant tree. Move through. You kind of like, yeah, it's like it invites you to like run around the bend, I suppose. I kind of like that. I'm torn between this and what we had before, where you could see the whole thing at the beginning, like right as you came through. Let's see what we can do here. I do this kind of a thing. Let's just test it out. Come through. Oh yeah, I don't mind that either. I don't mind that either. I think I want to move this though. This tree does feel a little out of place. Maybe over here. Or maybe even not. As you come through. Alright, that works for me. That works for me. Covered enough, revealed enough over here. Yes, still covered up. Still, yeah, I like this. I like this. Cool. Just trying to build those experiences, you know, just trying to build the moments of awe. I'm talking about. This thing is huge. This thing is absolutely massive. And this is when you can see it kind of clearly, but the moment you come around the bend, once again, it is covered by, you know, trees and stuff. Yeah, I feel like that feels fairly natural. All right, cool. Now, one thing that I wanted to do as well, post-time-lapse, is I want to get some names down over here. I've had a name for the line enclosure for a while. I got a couple of names actually that I want to integrate. All very interesting and exciting additions to our zoo. So let's go ahead and get that started. First of all, for our line enclosure that I've been calling, you know, Pride Rock as a reference to the structure in the middle, obviously, for so long. Let's go ahead and get the alphabet up over here. Now, many of you were like, oh, you're going to have lions, but you're not going to have Simba. No, we're not going to have a lion named Simba, but Simba's name will be making an appearance down over here in the name. Got to get everything set up properly over here. I really wonder, yeah, I think I like it down over here. Because that way it's not going to block your view. It also doesn't, quote-unquote, sully, you know, the imagery of Pride Rock, I suppose, with the artificial lettering. So I feel like I like it down over here. Whoops, not an N. That needs to be a B. Thank you very much. Clearly, I have overshot my bounds here. Gotta scoot you over a little bit. I mean, you can guess what this first word is going to be, I imagine. S-I-M-B. Up next comes the A, Simba. And the second word is, this is the new one for, I imagine, most of you, as it was for me when the name suggestion came through. All these people crowding up the space over here. Not letting me see what's going on. Not a problem. Not a problem. I can work around you. Oh my god, I actually maybe can't work around you. It's a little too tight. Alright. Work off to the side, then we'll pull it back in. A. I. Right? Yes. Just double checking. I want to make sure I get the spell right. Kiburi is the word I'm going for. Now this is, again, very graciously provided by the comment, so I appreciate that greatly. But this is Swahili, which we referenced previously as well for Malkia or Malkia. Again, I've been told it's pronounced both ways by people in, you know, in like my real life, so to speak, and also in the YouTube comments, which are also real life, but you know what I mean, like digitally versus not digitally. So Simba Kiburi is Swahili, much like Malkia or Malkia, which is the Swahili name we used, you know, among our lions. It feels nice to kind of have a linguistic connection, right? And Simba Kiburi literally means lion's pride in Swahili. So, you know, I think it touches on a lot of things that that I like to touch on when it comes to naming and things like that. I do wonder if we have some like, yeah. See, I knew it was gonna be this. I knew it was gonna be this. I mean, there are some African style ones as well, but they don't really fit our aesthetic. There's this mask type thing, but doesn't really fit our aesthetic either, I would say. We'll find a different place for it somewhere else in the zoo, but not over here. Dandelion seeds, interesting. And then the classic, I'm not surprised. There is this, of course. We could do this. Yeah, sure, let's do this. Just something to make it. No, actually, you know what? That's a little too big. It'll block your view. Block your view. Put it up over here. Also block your view. Yeah, maybe we don't need that kind of signage. I would like a small piece, but I just feel like what if we do something like this? Something like that, maybe. It's low enough. It would force you off to the side, which is fine because there's the signage, the education board and stuff over here anyway. All right, cool. Simba Kiburi. Let's go ahead and make that name official as well as far as the game is concerned. Simba Kiburi. So there you have it, folks. Those of you that were worried that we weren't going to get Simba in here, we have. It is, of course, a Swahili word with a quote-unquote proper meaning. So there you have it. I believe that's our job done here for now. We will make some tweaks and modifications. I mean, like this tiling pattern. You know, now that I've pointed it out, I can't help myself. But just to break up the tiling a little bit, we do need rock for the lines. They like a little bit of rock, so hopefully that'll do the trick. But apart from Simba Kiburi, I also have a name for our giant Galapagos tortoise area. But this space I'm actually going to touch on in the near future. I think I'll name it properly then. We'll come back here in just a moment, actually, as well, for some slight tweaks I'd like to make right now. Oh, wait, actually, there's quite a few names for the area down there, but I want to touch on this area over here first. I've had this name forever, and it keeps slipping my mind. Now, for the record, we will be decorating the toilet blocks and the stores and stuff as well. Like, there's so much to do, right? There's a lot to do. I intend to do it all, but, you know, time is of the essence, as is always the case. But for now, undecorated as it might be, it is still deserving of a name. The Pipshot water over here is henceforth to be known as, and I might be butchering the pronunciation over here, Bunyip Billabong. There you go. The Bunyip is a mythical creature. From my understanding, it is it features in a lot of indigenous sort of stories and mythologies, each with like some variants and variations. I believe, if I recall correctly, the translation, even though it's not necessarily it's a translation that might be the result of modern exposure. When I say modern, I mean colonial era exposure. But its name supposedly translates into devil or evil spirit. And the bunyip is typically found at like lakes, swamps, billabongs, things like that. And I believe the myth is born from an actual animal. Because like during the mating season, I'm trying to remember all of my reading, but like during the mating season, it makes a very, I guess, terrifying sound. Which apparently koalas do as well, so who knows, maybe it wasn't a koala, but from what I've been told. But yeah, so it might be that. It's sort of one of those things that's like grounded in real world, then got, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like mythologized, I suppose. So yeah, that's the bunyip. It's this evil monster type thing, a mythological creature from the indigenous tribes of the area, so I thought it was a nice touch. And I mean, Billabong is like the most. It's up there. It's up there with G'day mate as like Australian, right? So pardon my horrendous attempt at an like a faux Australian accent. Y'all know what I'm getting at. No, sorry. It's up there with tiny spiders that can murder you. As far as Australia, it's up there with wildlife that is out to kill you, no matter how much you love it. It's up there with giant tracts of desert that you'll man. A lot of iconic things about Australia. when you think about it. But yeah, so thank you for informing me about this whole bunyip thing. This came from the comments. I didn't know about it beforehand. Did a little bit of research to just inform myself. Very interesting stuff. I've been enjoying my journey into Australian Indigenous cultures. It's not something I know too much about. I have more personal exposure with New Zealand stuff. I'm very fascinated with some of the Indigenous stuff out of New Zealand. I've done a lot of research on it. A big part of my thesis back in university as well, in fact. But Australian Indigenous, I'm learning a lot over here, so it's super exciting. As I've said before, I love that kind of stuff. So bunyip billabong to bring an end to that conversation, to that ramble. Back over here, over with the tortoises. Again, we'll get the name for the enclosure in at the end because I like leaving that as I try to leave that as a finishing touch. Sometimes I can't help myself, but sometimes I can. But over here, we're gonna get some names down as well as some other things. So first of all, the Mexilente, there were a couple of name suggestions for all of these. The winner over here for the Mexilente is hard shell tacos. Tacos featured very heavily in many suggestions, but hard shell tacos was just on the nose enough to make me go, fine, you're the winner. But again, great suggestions across the board. Thank you very much. As always, Looney Balloons, meanwhile, is going to be renamed to Galapaloons. There we go. A little bit of wordplay never hurt anybody, except for the people watching my videos, maybe. The information center. Okay, there were some suggestions. Now, if I missed one, I apologize. But what I saw for the info center were suggestions of lines of thinking that we could go down, as opposed to an actual name suggestion. Some ideas included something about providing a shell because you can buy your umbrellas here. Something about shelling out. That one kind of struck a chord. So unless I missed something, and again, I do apologize if I did, I don't think we have a name suggestion for the information center yet, but there are some seeds to help us think about some potential tortoise appropriate names, I suppose. Over here we have our Just a Memento, which is going to be called Galapagos. You know when you say a word so many times it stops sounding like a word? Galapagos Gifts. There we go, a little bit of alliteration. And then finally at the end over here, the Pip Shot Water, we are going to be calling Shella Refreshing. Like hella refreshing, except Shella. Oh, no, of course, clicking away doesn't do the trick. There was the other suggestion as well. Well, there were quite a few suggestions, and quite a few actually related to this brought up the fact that the late great Steve Irwin had calling it a pet seems strange, but a pet giant Galapagos tortoise named Harriet, I believe it was. Wild, absolutely wild. Let's get to playing, I think, now. Playing, I mean, pressing the play button. We've been playing for the last little bit. But I think we are good to... Oh, actually, you know what? I was just checking on my notes here. One thing I do want to do is I want to get a couple of toilet blocks in here. Maybe not a couple, but at least one. A couple other things, actually, as well. So a toilet block. Would one fit over here just as you come in? Just as you come in or just as you go out? I'm not 100% sure. I think just as you come in over here. A little bit further away from all the food and everything. Come on now. Go lower, don't want stairs. Make everything accessible except for the washroom. That would be horrible. There we go. I think one should do the trick. And we will be, yes, covering up washrooms and stuff as well, fear not. So you come up over here, you've got the washroom right off the bat. Past the washroom, you get all your food and drink, you get rehydrated. We've got some bins and stuff over here already in case I think some of y'all missed that I did put down the trash cans. We should be fine there. And let's go ahead and see if I can't actually change this. Great. There we go. Beautiful. Why not, right? This was also suggested in the comments. There we go. Cool. A little bit of variety, spice of life, as they say, right? All right, I think, let me just take a look at my notes again really quickly. Good to be thorough. I try to be thorough as much as possible. because otherwise, that's how you fall behind on things that need doing. Yeah, it looks like we're pretty good over here. Let me just cool. Sorry, it was a little. I know today a little bit more reliant on, or a little more slow on my notes than usual. I think a bit more noticeable than usual, but noticeable. But one more thing I want to touch on. Well, a couple things I want to touch on. For one, because names stay well. Okay. I'll put a name down here. I was going to wait until, I was going to wait to see if we need a different type of ride, but I think we're very close to hitting the nail on the head with these things. So I'm okay with renaming some of these things with more official name suggestions. And I got a few. I should have noted them all down. So my apologies, but feel free to drop your name suggestions again in the comments, please. But for now, I do have the Africa entrance is actually going to be Main Station, which is just an absolutely charming play on words. Main Station, just like, come on. I love it. So let's go ahead and get that done. One thing I do want to do, though, is I think I want to actually close the ride, add 2 more cars, as we were kind of touching on last session. We might need a couple more cars up there. And now we can hit play, let time move forward, and then I can touch on a couple of other things that I intend to do today and in the near future, based on some of the suggestions that I received as well. Well, first of all, actually, before I even get into that conversation, what's going on over here? Are you guys going to get boxed up and moved, or are you just going to kind of like... Oh, there you have it. There's the gift of the episode. Food enrichment is a little low. We should definitely look into that. Yeah, coverage is too high, but is it actually upsetting them? Oh, look at all the babies. Yes, it is. Okay, interesting. Way too much coverage, I guess. Yeah, they don't like... Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can tweak that as needed. Tweak that as needed. Do not align to surface. There we go. How about how you feeling now? Still too much, eh? Well, 47% is... Okay. I'm actually surprised that it... I guess it is that much. I want to keep some of those out there. Get rid of some of you back over here. How about now? 43%. Still, wow, still too much. Still so much that it bothers them significantly. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Get rid of some of these. Get rid of you as well. How about now? Better, 37%. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen, whoops, an animal be that bothered by plants. Okay, well this is a little unfortunate, not gonna lie. Not the end of the world, though. Go ahead and get rid of you. How about now? Feel better now, buddy? 30%. Well, not perfect. Not perfect. I mean, the other option is to make the space bigger. Oh, look at the crowds move to catch a glimpse at all the lions. That's great. It's good to see a little bit of movement. Hopefully not too much movement before people start trashing the place. Now we have bins and stuff. Okay, cool. What am I looking for? Might just seek out a smaller tree, I guess, to put down. That's the trick. Nature. Looking for... African trees. I like that shape of tree. Grassland, I believe I'm looking for, right? Yeah. Biome. Grassland. Where are you? What are these trees called again? They're called the umbrella thorn. Nature. Do you... Maybe a smaller one somewhere over here will do the trick. How do you feel? 28%. That's fine. Okay, cool. They're happy. They're happy enough. That's okay. Changes the feel a little bit. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. I want to adjust these guys a touch to art direct this space, basically. For lack of a better word. Yeah, sure. I think that works. Cool. Alright, now, let's go ahead and take a look here. You should be able to get up top. Should be able to get up top. Is everything else okay? Just a little bit of enrichment. Enrichment. Which kind of enrichment again? Oh yeah, okay. They are able to... No, they're not able to climb all the way up top. Why is that? This is too narrow, is it? If we can't fix that problem here. That kind of a thing. Come on now. Might need to, almost definitely to make this easier to climb, I guess. These animal discovered, vet called, okay. Vet called, nothing else we can do about it, so. Let it be. There we go, now you're able to get up to here. Alright, fair enough, fair enough. I think that's what's happening is this isn't wide enough for them to get across. There we go. Come on now. Beautiful. Well, that's a cub. Yeah, adults too. Wonderful. Okay, great. Great, great. Get rid of this large ball. I guess they've gotten bored of it, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. Now let's go ahead and get them a new toy. There's a fire hose ball or a rubbing pad. Rubbing pads are always fun. Down over. Well, actually, let's go ahead and get the rubbing pad down over here. Give a very intimate experience to guests when the line's playing over there. Cool. That should be nice. Oh yeah, look at the crowd move to get a better view of the animals, I guess. Are we fine over here is the problem. I mean, I feel like we'll need more. I want to put stuff down over here for sure. I feel like we need to go ahead and put down some like vending machines. Definitely want to put down a washroom as well. Did you just tell what is this? I feel like we need to put down some vending machines or something. I'd rather put down stores, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, this is bothering me. Not sure what's happening here. But it's just bothering me to no end. Is everyone gonna get stuck over here when they're walking down the bend? Is that what's gonna happen? I feel like that's what's gonna happen. We'll have to change that if that's the case. Alright, vendors. Vendors. Construction. No. Facilities. We have nothing in the area, right? I want to put like a washroom and stuff down as well. Guest facilities. Drink first. Go ahead and get a gulpy energy down over here, I think. Should be able to, yep. Pop you right down over here. And I want to get a gulpy soda down as well. And on the flip side, I want to go ahead and get down... What? How about a... Monsieur Frite? Pop you down over here. Group, I guess. One. And let's also get ourselves a pizza pen. I feel like I haven't put a pizza pen down in a long time. Cool. We'll build these into supports, I suppose, for the station itself. I think that'll be quite nice. Immediately making money already. Yeah, guests over here are going to be thirsty and hungry. Want to make sure that we have ice. Yep, good stuff. Pricing and everything is synchronized across the board, so that's not going to be... Look at that lineup right off the bat. Look at that lineup immediately. People are thirsty in the area. People are hungry in the area. Glad I did this. And I could also put down some picnic benches. Where's the Africa one? Yeah, I don't mind how these ones look, at least. Pop you down over here. Pop you down pop you down over here. I think that's enough room, and you can eat in the shelter or out in the open. Yeah. I've been wanting to do this for a while anyway. Oh, look at that. You see that run? It's so cool to, like, catch them moving. Oh, man, they've been up over here. We missed it. We missed it the first time they were up over there. We'll catch it at some point. We'll surely catch it at some point. So cool. The Balani is about to mature as well. We've got some really good genetics among the lions over here. Like, our lions have been absolutely fantastic. Oh, look at that. I feel like that kid right now. Yeah. Oh, do it, buddy. Do it. Yes. So great. So great. Alright, so that's that taken care of. Let's go ahead and take a moment down over here among the tortoises. Not super busy just quite yet, but that's okay. That's okay. It'll get busy all in due time. All in due time. Let's go ahead and select everything over here. I want to adjust this a little bit. We're going to be tweaking how this space is done for sure. For sure. I got some really good suggestions that I'll be integrating. But real quick for now, I think we'll very soon I want to finalize this space over here as well. I don't know if that'll be next session. I've got some plans for next session already. Maybe it's this, maybe it's not. I don't know. We'll find out together. But let's go ahead and move all of you out over to here. On the ground over here. We'll need some adjusting for sure. Doesn't just work to plop them down, I suppose, but makes the space a bit more interesting. Really glad to hear, by the way, that the idea here has come across in its execution. The whole kind of chill space, the chill vibes. You know, it's a space for people to take a moment to slow down, if you will, and just take it all in. I'm personally a fan of this kind of vibe from time to time, but I definitely want to make sure that guests are able to see the animal no matter their height. Obviously, that is a big concern. So I do want to make sure that the average, guest as they come through doesn't have their view blocked or anything like that. And from the picnic bench area, like the actual eating area, the intent is that guests should be able to see the animal from there too. Which some of you identified, some of you actually mentioned is actually already happening. So that's cool, because my one concern was that guests would not be able to use it like that. Or not that they would not be able to, but that they wouldn't. But it seems that they are. I just hope they're not complaining about the views as well. As is tradition. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, I suppose. Come on now. Come on now. There we go. Lay down a little bit. Excellent. Over. Stuff. Good stuff. Need to move you down over here as well, please. Lions are maturing. Good stuff. What is this? What have we accomplished here? Breed exhibit species. Beautiful. Take that. Facility broken down. Hopefully the mechanic is en route. It is an ATM, so, kind of important, I would say, at the very least. Ever so slightly. But yeah, that's the tortoises, I think, are all set up now. In terms of being viewable. Like, if you're over here, the problem is the little section of the terrain that goes up. Not so much the height, but the fact that it, not the average height, but the fact that it goes up so high is what makes it hard to see the animal. I believe. So this flattening should do the trick. This is a bit of a messy section over here. Where can I put you down? Down over here, sure. You down over here. Sure. I think the barrier might need to be adjusted as well to actually adjust the terrain properly, right? Maybe not. Yeah, you can definitely see it from this height. What about from down over here? Kids can see as well. Yeah. Good stuff. Making a climb, buddy. You You want that fruit, don't you? You want that fruit. Yeah, you do. Yeah, everything's traversable. That's great. There are a couple of escape points, but we will be investigating that. Well, actually, is it because... Yeah, you know what? I think it might actually be because... I think if we just move this down a little bit, we might be fine. Okay, got you all selected. Where is the movement? Where is the movement gizmo? Nowhere to be seen. Great, that helps me. Fantastic, very helpful. Thank you, game. Thank you, now I can't even... Oh my... Come on now. This, to me, this is the single most frustrating element of the game, is how the move button, or whatever you want to call it, is always the hardest one to click on when you're coming in from a distance. Like, that one should be prioritized, since, unless, I don't know, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but to me it feels like the most important one of those buttons. Pull a couple of escape points. Yeah, now it looks like they can, yeah, get onto the rocks, and that's why they can escape. And the plan is he has to put a bit of a barrier up, and we will do that. But I'm trying to figure out if we can... I don't think we're going to go barrierless, but I'm just curious to see if we can solve the problem in some other way as well. Come on now. Go. Fighting for alpha status. Fighting for alpha status is okay. Overcrowding and incorrect sex ratios, those are problems. Now, unfortunately, fighting for alpha status can still result in injuries as well, but it's natural behavior. I mean, I don't know. Should we stop fighting for alpha status? Isn't that kind of essential? I guess we should control who gets to be the alpha. Though I guess, actually, now that I think about it, lions, they go away to make their own prides after a certain age, right? So I guess I should be a bit more careful about that. Okay, hold on a second. Can we just make sure that this animal's not going to escape? That. Up over here, I believe we had a bit of a problem as well. Yep. Down here. Oh, hopefully that does the trick. And we have little baby tortoises as well. We'll have to do another check. Good for the most part. A couple problem areas still. You can't even... How can you get here? No way you can get here. Go ahead and move these guys down over here. Go. Move you down here. Beautiful. What are we looking at here? Weird they're not making a beeline for an escape. Normally that's what every animal does, especially the dangerous animals. At least it feels that way. Ah, still able to get out from over here. Alright, fair enough. Go ahead and flatten to foundation. Nope, still not good enough. Still not steep enough. Will that do the trick? Yeah, that does the trick over here. And down over here. Same, I guess. Better raise it ever so slightly. If the game will let me. That ought to block them off for now. And over here, the issue I think is just that the barrier is over here. Move you over. And let's move you over. Oh, does that do the trick? Poor guy's probably been trying to escape for the last God knows how long. That seems to be fine. I'm actually surprised that they can get back over here. We'll keep an eye out for it. Keep an eye out for it. Let's go ahead and take a look at it's dangerous fighting for alpha status. I mean, once alpha status is established, I suppose they move on, right? Who is the alpha still? Who is the alpha still? Who's the alpha now, I should say? Poor buddy. Where are our friends. Where's our, there he is. Is that him? No. Why can I not find the giant tiger, the giant mane? Has he been taken to the, like, has he been taken to heal up? No, he's right up front over here. That camouflage, man. Still the alpha. Look at that beast. Look at that. What a cutie. I say as he stands to full size. Oh, I'm back over there. Do you see her kind of run back down? We'll catch him up there at some point. MGM logo, baby. Amazing. Such glorious beasts. Alright, what else have we got going on? Everything else seems to be in working order. Guests have been moved out of here just fine. Guests have been coming over here hopefully just fine as well. What's the deal back up at the entrance? Guests are moving. Ish. Kinda, sorta. Yes, no, maybe. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I popped someone's balloon. They get hungry and thirsty while they're waiting up over here, which will affect their mood. Maybe I need even more cars. Maybe I need even more cars. If they get tired while waiting, that's a problem, obviously. Over here we have a bit of a lineup. I guess you wait for the final car before you can hop on. No, Sabira. No. Stop that nonsense. Stop it. In fact, I should probably get everybody without the M tag on contraceptives. There we go. That does the trick. He doesn't need to because he won't be mating. Kabulani, because he's not the alpha. What a beast, though. Look at that. Oh, damn. Fighting for alpha status? Let's go ahead and move to the Trade Center. It makes me uncomfortable. Makes me very uncomfortable to see that. I feel like it's, I mean, yeah, alpha status fighting is a thing, but, once dominance has been established, it should, you know, be established. We're gonna have to fix this up, for sure. We're gonna have to fix this up for sure. Guess you're getting stuck up over here, and are getting upset. It doesn't make any sense. The path worked, was working previously, and now all of a sudden it's not working, but what are you gonna do? Come on now. Down over here. Getting thirsty, hungry, littering. Mechanic stuck up over there as well. Great. This is wonderful. Alright, I'll fix that. But I don't think I'm gonna do that right now. I think that'll be a next time thing, because I think we're just about at the end of our session over here. I was really hoping to see the lions up top, chilling up at the top over there. Actually, you know what I need to check. Silly me, I haven't checked. Yeah, they can't actually get in here. We'll have enough hard shelter, but they can't actually get in here. That's probably because this is too low. Little cubs can probably get in here, but like full-grown lions to be able to get in here as well. Go ahead and adjust this ever so slightly. That might be big enough for them to enter. Might actually not be wide enough, though. Yeah. I didn't want it to be too deep because I don't want them hiding in there too much is the other thing as well. I want to make sure that the guests are able to see them, right? Yeah, it looks like they're able to get in. Cool. Like I want to stay wary of the actual intention of a, you know, of an enclosure in a zoo where you can see the animals. You need to be able to see the animals. 4th of December, 5th of December now. Just one day past my birthday, I suppose, is an okay time to stop. We are going to call it a session over here, folks. It looks like they're making a decent bit of money still, but it is a bit more spread out now because the lions are moving around a bit more as well. But still cool to see, still happy to see that they are enjoying themselves in the space, the newly renovated space. Like, eyes closed while standing up. Buddy over here. Fought a hard fight. Taking a little nap. All good. There's something about this. Very cute. Very cute. All right, folks. This is what I'm going to call it a session, I think. Lots of work to do still. Next session is going to be an interesting one as well. I have some plans to finally, finish off some more things that have been kind of left waiting for a very long time. And we're finally going to see some progress on, these older projects. Some older than others, I suppose. For all intents and purposes, the Simba Kaburi is less from a long time ago than some of the other projects that have been, again, constantly kind of pushed around a little bit in terms of timings. Seems as though we probably have litter somewhere. Yeah, we got a little bit of litter up on the ramp over here. What are you going to do about that? We need to get some more keepers and caretakers and all that beautiful stuff. But folks, that'll all be next time. I hope you enjoyed this session. If you did, you know what to do. Let me know by leaving a like and a comment down below. As always, it makes a massive difference in how I approach content on the channel, what I do more or less of, how I go about doing it. Y'all know the drill by now. Really looks rather majestic in its new scaled up version, I think. Pride Rock is certainly feeling rather monumental. Folks, as always, a massive thanks goes out to all of my channel members and patrons for supporting the channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big old thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.